and grounds?
Well, una sa lahat, para maging malinaw sa mga kababayan ho natin, yung pong sufficiency in substance na pinag-uusapan po dito, yung complaints themselves. No? Ibig sabihin, ano yung mga aligasyon, ano yung mga ultimate facts no, na binabanggit po doon po sa mga complaints po na ito. So, nabanggit po yun. Misuse of confidential funds, yung po usapin ng SALN, yung usapin po ng death threats against the President, the First Lady, and the former House Speaker, at yung po mga impeachable offenses na banggit po ron. Betrayal of public trust, culpable violation of the Constitution, at iba pang mga impeachable offenses. So basically, essentially complete the complaints themselves. No? So yun po yung una. Pangalawa, yung pong sufficiency in grounds, incorporated na po doon sa discussion ng komite, yung pong answer nung pong respondent no, sa isang impeachable offense. No? So, ibig sabihin, kasama ho yun, tapos yung kung meron pong mga sagot, yung pong mga complainants and rejoinders, yun din po tinatalakay yung pong bagay na yan.
Kumbaga na-determine siya after nyo marinig yung panig nung inireklamo. So how did you find, sir, the answer of VP Sara?
Well, I think very clear naman po in the last 4 days no, from the submission, ng pagtingin po ng marami sa mga miyembro ng komite ay this is a non-answer. Ibig sabihin, hindi po sinagot ng pangalawang Pangulo, point per point, yung pong mga allegations doon po sa dalawang complaints po na ito.
And the hearing proper is set to begin on March 25. Please walk us through the process. What should the public expect?
Well, syempre, bibigyan po ng pagkakataon yung pong mga complainants, endorsers to present their evidence. The Vice President also will be allowed to present her defenses in the course of hearing proper. No? And yung pong mga dokumento at ebidensya at iba pang mga magbibigay ng testimonya, isasabpina na ho silang lahat. Dito po sa proseso po na ito. So everything related to misuse of confidential funds, the death threat, and the SALN of the Vice President, yan po ay isa-subject na po to a subpoena by next week.
Required ho ba na magpakita si VP Sara, sir?
Hindi naman ho required. Meron pong karapatan ang ating pong pangalawang Pangulo na magpakita o hindi magpakita, magbigay po ng kanyang depensa o hindi po magbigay ng kanya pong depensa.
And you previously said, sir, na may possible conflict of interest involving some members of her defense panel, particularly Michael Powa, who served as DepEd spokesperson, and Mr. Reynold Munsayak, who served as the VP spokesperson, as well as DepEd Assistant Secretary. Would they be formally asked to withdraw?
Iko-consider po yung entry of appearances ng lahat po ng lawyers by next week, no? And what we are looking at is that there will be a motion to reject the entry of appearance of Mr. Powa and Mr. Munsayak, no? And very clear po yung basis for this. Si Mr. Munsayak po has been mentioned by Mr. Madriaga in an affidavit that has been sworn to. And secondly, he has been mentioned by Undersecretary Gloria Mercado as trying to influence a procurement process. And more particularly, he was the DepEd Assistant Secretary for procurement then. No? So, as far as the committee is concerned, parang hindi ho pwede magkaroon po ng duality of roles ang mga matataas na opisyal ng DepEd at OVP at sila din po ay magiging defense panel. We don't want them to raise client confidentiality kapag ho they are subjected to questioning and interpellation by the committee.
Would they instead be subject to subpoena, sir?
We will invite them and we will also issue subpoenas on them, particularly Mr. Monsayak because he was mentioned in the course of the proceedings.
How about Mr. Ramil Madriaga? Ano po ang nakikita niyong magiging papel niya sa impeachment proceedings?
Ano ho yan? Maimbitahan ho siya. Kasi firstly, to be able to test his credibility as well. No, kasi syempre, mabibigat po yung mga paratang na binanggit po niya sa kanya pong mga affidavit. No? And we would want to know kung meron bang ibang mga corroborative evidence that currently exist doon po sa kanya pong mga binabanggit doon. No? So, that would be it. Tapos pangalawa, syempre, siya din ho yung nagtuturo nung implementation po ng misuse of confidential funds, supposedly. So, we would want to see yung pong chain of the custody of the cash from the bank to particular officials of the OVP, and ito po mga sinasabing mga katulad po ni Mr. Madriaga na confidential agent. So, we would want to be able to test all of it.
Your colleague in the House, Congressman Chel Diokno, is suggesting that the House Justice Committee take custody of Mr. Madriaga to ensure his safety. Do you agree?
It is something that can be considered by the committee, so we will vote on it probably. But very important to clarify na, yung po meron actual custody and jurisdiction on Mr. Madriaga today is the court that is hearing his serious crime against him. No? So very important ho na mag-coordinate po kami with them and they have to agree that detention can be transferred whether to the house or whichever other facility.
Kumbaga may magmo-motion din sa korte, sir, kailangan.
We will make representations with the court. Pero syempre kailangan din natin tanongin kay Mr. Madriaga kung gusto rin ba niya mailipat ng kustodiya kasi ultimately kung ayaw naman niya, para mahirap din hong pilitin po si Mr. Madriaga na umalis po from BGMP.
Another colleague of yours na Bota City Congressman Toby Tiangco ay naghain po ng resolusyon urging the House to finish or expedite the impeachment proceedings as soon as possible para makapag-focus daw ang Kongreso sa mga krisis gaya ng nangyayari sa Middle East. Kailan ho inaasahang matapos ang impeachment proceedings?
Well, first of all, kailangan hong maglinaw na hindi ho pinagbabangga na Kongreso yung accountability mechanisms at yung economic relief mechanisms po para tugunan po yung krisis sa Middle East. No? Kasi, to be very clear, I think okay na ho on third reading, magbabaycam na yung pong excise taxes, removal sa petroleum products. So, hindi ho totoo yung binabanggit niya na parang kailangan magmabilis dito para makatugon sa ibang bagay. Ginagawa na ho ng Kongreso yan ngayon. Pero to answer the question, kailan po matatapos? I think meron po mga dates po na binanggit. So, up until the end of April, meron po mga pagdinig. Pag kinapos pa ho yung panahon, magtutuloy po yan towards May.
Do you still find the need to have a special session to deal with these developments in the Middle East? Needless to say, gaya ho nang nabanggit niyo, pwede naman ho sabay talakayin ito. Pero kailangan pa ho ba ng special session?
Well, it will depend on what the executive might require, no? Na interventions pa ho ng Kongreso. So for example, ngayon excise taxes, essentially tapos na ho yan for signing of the president na po yan. So if he will require, for example, that 12% VAT should also be removed from petroleum products and also electricity, then probably we will require a special session para ma-expedite din po yung mga bagay na ito.
And babalik sa impeachment complaints, ano po ang mga ebidensya na dapat i-push forward ng mga nagre-reklamo para maging matibay ang kaso?
Well, yung pong mga COA reports relating to the misuse of confidential funds, the notices of disallowances and all the other related documentation po will be subpoenaed. So certain po tayo that there will be a subpoena on these documents. Subpoena on the video documentation relating to the press conference of the Vice President threatening the President, there will be a subpoena on it. On SALN, the SALN of the Vice President from 2007 to 2024 will be subpoenaed together with all bank documents, all Anti-Money Laundering Council transaction reports, tax documents po from the BIR, not just of the Duterte-Carpio couple, but also of all the businesses that had been stated in the 2024 SALN.
Dahil may nabanggitin ho kayong 50 million peso wealth gap between her accumulated government service salary and net worth.
Well, tama po yun. Kasi yun po yung kailangan maipakita in the course of the proceeding. No? Yung 88 million po yung nakalista na net worth ng pangalawang Pangulo sa kanya pong 2024 SALN. Pero yung cumulative salary lang po niya from 2007 to 2024, nang wala pa pong ginagastos, no, would be around 30 to 40 million. So, meron pong kailangan maipakita kung paano mailuluwal yung pong 50 million na dapat humanggaling doon sa mga nakalistang mga negosyo at profesyon. So, yung basically, dapat makita ho doon na financial documents sa ITR at sa mga VAT payments, dapat revenues po yan across 17 years ng around 200 to 400 million pesos po.
So, i-cross-check, ano?
Para mailuwal po yung 50 million na net worth by 2024. 50 million net gap in the net worth by 2024.
We'll just take a short break. We'll continue our discussion with Congressman Terry Redon when we return. Stay tuned. This is On Point.
I trust only the best for me. UFC. puno ng natural na sangkap, high standard sa alaga, safe ang paggawa. Noon pa man, bilib na ako. Kaya ito ang pride ko. UFC. World-class quality.
Welcome back and still with us, Bicol Saro Party List Representative Terry Ridon. So still on the impeachment complaints against the Vice President, do you think there are enough votes to impeach the VP?
Well, we can just go back to the record of sufficiency in substance. No? So you had like 54 votes then. Ito po sa sufficiency in grounds, we didn't need to vote kasi no objections. No? So yung pong 54 votes is more than half of what is required for the 106 votes needed to impeach the Vice President at the level of the House. So tingin ko ho, hindi na ho masyadong mahirap to reach the next half no, to impeach the Vice President.
May naset hong mga petsa ang Justice Committee para sa mga hearing. Posible ho bang lumagpas pa doon ang pagdinig?
We will decide po on the last day or the last 2 days no, of the set hearings kung required pa ho ng mga dagdag. Kasi by around that time, kung tapos na, we don't have to proceed. Pero kung halimbawa, we are just midway towards the grounds. No? Kasi isa-isain po yun eh. Per complaint, isa-isa. Third complaint, fourth complaint. So, baka it might take a little bit more time. So, we will decide by then, by the end of April, kung may mga additional hearings pa po through May.
All right. In terms of the timeline then, sir, mga June or July, nasa Senado na ho yung complaint, yung articles of impeachment.
Well, I don't want to jump the gun, no? Kasi it will still be subject to a plenary vote. No? So, I think we can vote in plenary by around the end of May po.
Okay. And Congressman Tiangco was also saying that sure na sure siya na some congressmen are pushing for the impeachment of the VP sa takot na ma-hold accountable ang mga perpetrators sa flood control scandal. Do you share the same sentiment?
Well, katulad ng binanggit ho natin kahapon, mas maganda ho siguro magpangalan siya. Kasi nakita ko naman yung listahan ng 54 na bumoto on substance. Parang wala naman ho masyado doon yung mga nakalagay ho sa mga listahan na involved po sa flood control corruption nung nagdaan. So, tingin ko, if meron siyang nag-insinuate na mga personalidad, mga kasama na namin sa Kongreso, mas maganda ho pangalanan. Kesa ho, yung kabuuan po ng mga bumoto at nag-support po ng impeachment, yung pong nadudungisan doon sa kanya pong binabanggit.
Tumungo naman tayo, sir, doon sa paglantad ng ex-Marines who presented themselves as bagmen of resigned Congressman Zaldico. Naniniwala ho ba kayo sa mga claims nila?
Well, kailangan natin balikan yung affidavit itself. Kasi yun naman ho yung sworn affidavit na pwede ho silang singilin on. Tatlo ho yung mga, I think, very glaring problems po on that affidavit. No? Firstly, binabanggit ho nila si Paul Estrada na kasama ho doon, may litrato doon. Pero yung publicly available pictures of Paul Estrada, hindi niya ho yun kamukha doon sa nakalagay sa affidavit. Pangalawa, may litrato ho doon ng lamesa na puro pera. Ang tanong ho ng mga kababayan ho natin, bakit nakahawak po ng rice cooker yung isa doon sa mga tao po ron kung nagbibilang ho ng pera? So ang pakiramdam ng mga nakakita ng affidavit, para namang AI yung pong litrato na yon. Tapos pangatlo, at ito yung pinakamahalaga, yung pong pagkakalista po ni Congresswoman Laila de Lima bilang isa sa mga kongresista na kasama doon po sa listahan po ng nakatanggap. Ang paliwanag nila, nagkamali lang ho sila sa paglalagay po doon sa listahan, pero nakatanggap pa rin siya ng maleta o ng envelope. No? Pero ano na ho yun touch move na ho yun Ang insinuation of that affidavit, kasama ho siya doon sa mga kongresistang tumanggap nung panahon na yun. Hindi ho yung ganun. Hindi ba? Kumbaga, immediately dismantled yung credibility po ng affidavit na yun.
Given that, ano ang nakikita po ninyong motibo? Bakit po nila ito ginagawa?
Wala naman ho akong, I cannot conjecture what the motivations are. No? But again, kung yan lang po yung talagang pagbabatayan as a basis for a future investigation, whether by the Senate or by the House, parang it would be a bit problematic. No, I think we need a little bit more information outside po of the affidavit na I think very wala ho talagang credibility.
Yun nga po sana itatanong ko kung kailangan pa bang imbestigahan ito ng Kongreso.
Tingin ko, magpakita muna sila ng iba pang mga dokumento. Labas pa ho dito sa affidavit po na ginawa nila. Kasi if we will bank on the affidavit itself, yung tatlong bagay pa lang ho na, may mga ilang particular pa hong mga problema yung affidavit na yun sa totoo lang, wala ho tayong pag-uusapan.
Babalik naman tayo, sir, sa mga nangyayari sa Middle East at yung impact nito sa atin. Is the government doing enough to cushion the impact?
Well, yung pong removal po of excise taxes, nagawa ho natin yan in the last 2 weeks lang po. So mabilis ho yung pagkilos ng Kongreso at ng Senado. And as soon as yung pong certification of urgency was released by the President, na ipasan ho yan agad-agad. And more importantly, parang wala na ho ata palang ngabay kami. Yung pong bagay nito. So this will be given to the President already for signing in the soonest time. So hopefully, in the next 2 weeks ho, makinabang po yung mga kababayan ho natin sa removal na mismo. Kasi 10 pesos maximum po yung maibabawas eh. Doon po sa current prices po natin pag napirmahan po ito.
Yung VAT ho ba kailangan pa bang tanggalin or sapat muna ang excise tax?
We will have to monitor po. Kasi katulad na binabanggit po ng mga economists, mas masilimuot po yung removal ng 12% VAT compared to the outright removal or reduction of excise taxes. So I think we have to see as we go along. And we had seen it naman po na kung kailangan ho talagang bilisan yung economic relief na kailangan po magmula sa Kongreso, I think Congress and the Senate will be ready to do it.
Yung mga subsidiya, sir, sapat ho ba yun sa transport sector, halimbawa?
Well, actually, kailangan po talagang tutukan ito. No? Kasi syempre, ang Pangulo po ay nagsabi na i-halt muna po yung pagtataas po ng pamasahe po sa across all transport sectors. No? So very important po yung pagkakaroon po ng focus and broadness nung pong tulong sa mga super po natin at mga operator. Kasi, I mean, if you don't have a fair increase, saan kukunin ng mga super at operators po yung panggastos ho sa pang-araw-araw? Wala pong iba, kundi ho doon sa tulong po na ibibigay ng gobyerno.
At given the situation overseas at mukhang matatagalan pa bago maresolba ang krisis sa Middle East, ano po ang gusto ninyo makita in terms of a national contingency plan?
Well, ito nga po, very important ho na makita ho natin halimbawa yung pagtitipid. Na kailangan kasi syempre, ultimately, pwede ho talagang maubos yung pong petroleum supplies no, sa Pilipinas. So, kailangan ho magkaroon pa ho ng dagdag na paghahanda dyan. So, I think we have to accept the fact na baka dumating yung araw na yung rationing ho nung paggamit po ng petroleum products, mangyayari po yun. So, kailangan ho talagang yung gobyerno nasa unahan po ng laban na yan.
That's all the time we have with Bicol Saro Party List Congressman Terry Ridon. Thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Salamat. Magandang gabi.
Gangster, you know, we do that better than anybody.
I bet you got it twisted, you don't know who to trust. So many player hating niggas trying to sound like us. Say they ready for the front, but I don't think they know it. Straight to the depths of hell is where them cowards going. Well, all you still down, nigga, holler when you see me. And let these devils dissolve for the day they finally free me. I got a caravan of niggas every time we ride. Hitting motherfuckers up when we pass by. Until I die, live the life of a boss player. Cause even when I'm high, fuck with me